Hey everyone, it's Dr. Sam. I just wanted to quickly drop in and give you some tips for your teaching resume. And I know that that can be kind of overwhelming when you are first getting started with your resume, but let's go ahead and jump into just a few tips for today. All right, so let's talk about some resume must-haves. Obviously, your name has to be on there along with contact information. If you do not have a professional email address, for example, first name, last name at gmail.com or first name, middle initial, last name at gmail.com, go and get one. They are free on Google. Go get a professional Gmail. That's going to look really nice on your resume. In addition, if you have professional social media, go ahead and link those on there as well. So if you have professional Instagram or professional Twitter, go ahead and make sure that's under your contact info on your resume. So two things under your contact: your professional email. You don't want to use your college one because sometimes that expires like in the summertime. So make sure you have one that you can access all the time, like a Gmail, and your professional social media accounts. Up next, your certification areas would be great to have in here. So include your anticipated graduation year, what certifications are you pursuing, and if you're going to be certified in multiple states, put that in there as well. That's really great to know. Up next is, yeah, I just saw somebody, can you please post this? Absolutely, I will. Another thing you're going to put in there is your teaching experiences. So under here, put your student teaching, your field work, probably not your observations because you did that probably freshman, sophomore year of college, but definitely anything where you're working with kids where you were paid. Volunteer opportunity is going to be a little bit different. These are things where you are not paid. For example, doing a Best Buddies walk or volunteering for Special Olympics, volunteering for a literacy group. Those are some different things you can put under volunteering. And in a few minutes here, I have a little presentation. That's what I'm looking off of, so I'll share that in our chat today. You're going to want to really describe these teaching experiences in a really neat way. So I'm excited to share that with you. Related work experience. So they don't want to know, hey, I worked in retail, or hey, I worked in fast food, whatever that might be. But instead, think about related work experiences like tutoring, or if you were babysitting, that's a good one, or childcare, daycare. Vacation Bible School is another good one. Camp counselor, day camp, residential camp, whatever that might be. Those are some other good related work experiences. Other ones that you can put maybe under volunteer could be if you've had a leadership role at an education organization. That's a good one to put. And then like describing what are some activities that you did during that experience, during that leadership role. What are some things you worked on? All right, so let's move into the next part. A couple more things about your resume. Make sure it is clear, concise, and consistent, meaning you are clear in those objectives. You're clear in your descriptions. We're going to talk about a way to make your descriptions really smart. Really excited about that in just a few minutes here. If you're using something online that doesn't do spell checker, like Canva doesn't do spell checker, so make sure you use like an extension like Grammarly. That'll check your spelling. Also have on there, if you're going to be using something like Grammarly for spell checker, read it aloud to yourself. That's a really good one, because sometimes when we read stuff aloud to ourselves, we don't skip over words or anything like that. You can actually hear like our voice in there. So if it sounds like you, that's great. You don't want it to sound like a textbook. You want to have your resume share who you are and share what you do best, which is teaching. So make sure it sounds like you. And if you're having a trouble saying it out loud, it probably doesn't sound like you. So make sure that your true self shines through on that resume. Have a peer read it over or a professor read it over. Hey, if you need someone to read it over, send it my way. I'll be happy to look at your resume and give you some feedback. The more eyes, the better on this thing. And then at your college, visit your career services, or even your writing center could also help you in drafting that content for your resume. Up next, please do not use a template on Word. Everybody else is using that template, and you want to stand out from that stack of hundreds of resumes, right? So don't use a template that everybody else is using. Break away from the Times New Roman size 12 font. Instead, try something different. So my recommendation is to, on a Word doc or a Google Doc, brain dump all the different things under those headings. So teaching experiences, related work experiences, volunteer work, just bullet point, get all of it out there, and then put it into a Word document that makes sense with headings and things like that. Or you can pull it into Canva, and I've seen this done beautifully where some teacher candidates will take their resume and they'll put it in a Canva infographic, which looks really cool. There's also templates on Canva for resumes, but you really want it to be unique to you. So definitely try that out. You want it to be one page, cut the fluff, one page for your resume. So really look to see, are these my best experiences that really make me shine as an educator that you're highlighting on your resume? Because you might have a lot of volunteer experiences, and that is awesome. You can add that to your digital portfolio and have people go there to look for more, but you really want to highlight the ones that show you as the best candidate for this position. All right, so let's talk about how we can describe our experiences, because we just don't want to put on there taught lesson plans. Everybody's done that. So what are some ways that you can stand out in your description? So I have a little mnemonic here. You want to make your description SMART. S, share a story. So share something specific. Mention details. That's the M in SMART. So mention who you taught, what you taught, where you taught, what were the results, what did you learn from that experience. So be specific in the story that you're sharing, that you're painting a picture for that administrator. Use action words, so something other than taught lesson plans. Maybe instead, prepared lesson plans that differentiated instructions for my students, or maintained relationships with students throughout my student teaching experiences by doing SEL check-ins, direct messaging students on Remind, and greeting them at the door as they came in. Accommodated materials and resources for students with special needs, and was able to help them, increase their reading level. Share what's the result of that lesson that you taught. So A is action words, S is share a story, M is mention specific concept, A is action words, R is review the posting, because you know what? There's going to be some stuff that they're looking for in that posting. So whatever specific posting you are looking for, actually read it over and use that information in your resume and your cover letter to show that you are the best candidate for this position. So they're going to have specific skills that they're looking for. Make sure you highlight those in your resume. So review that posting, and then also under that SMART description, give a little time marker. For example, Fall 2022, student teacher at XYZ school district with XYZ teacher in 3rd grade. And so give a specific time there as well, so people can kind of see, this is your teaching experience. You want to start with the most recent experience, and then work your way down. So there's consistency there. So one more thing that I want to share with you before I end our live today is, we talked about using templates. We're not going to use a Word document template in our resume. Instead, what I recommend is, thinking about all the different experiences that you've had, dumping them out on a Word doc, and then reformatting that to fit your needs, and make sure it's your voice and your style that's being showcased in your resume. You're going to look through that job posting and use that content right in there. One more thing you might want to do is make your resume come to life, and you can do that easily through a digital portfolio. So when you're writing out your resume, you can even have smart links that as people read through your resume, they can click on, and it'll open up a page in your digital portfolio. So for example, if you have a bazillion volunteer opportunities, give little short descriptions of those volunteer activities in your digital portfolio. Share about 3 or 4 that you were super excited about on your resume, but when they click on volunteer opportunities on your resume, it'll open up the page in your portfolio that goes into more detail about those, maybe has some pictures with permissions, and information about what you did during that experience. So now you're not just telling somebody, hey, here's my volunteer stuff, but you're sharing and you're showing that story, which is what a resume should be doing. So sharing your teaching story, but your digital portfolio can help it come to life. So a way you can have your digital portfolio and your resume play nicely together is by having a QR code. You can have a QR code on your resume in the top left or top right hand side of the corner. And now you're directing people exactly where to go to find you. So whenever they get your resume, they're not just going to Google your name. they might scan that QR code. So now you're directing them to, hey, here's where all my awesome teaching stuff is online. And they can go ahead and they can find that information. So definitely include a QR code for your digital portfolio on your resume. If you want to make your resume interactive, include links in there that go to your digital portfolio pages. So now you can really paint and show that picture of who you are as an educator of excellence. Friends, I wish you the best of luck during your teaching interview season. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please DM me. I'm happy to help you out. Have a fantastic Wednesday, and bye for now.